today's topic, that is the living world. Now, what are the learning objectives of today's lesson? Now, first we can say that what is living. So this what is living, it was last year it was in detail. So in this latest year term book, in this syllabus of 23, 22, 23, it was there in full, but in 23, 24 it has been omitted. So we will just get an overall idea of what is living, though we all know that what is living. So we will stress on the diversity of living in the living world and the taxonomic categories, which are the main part which we are going to study in this first lesson. Now, what is living? Though it has been omitted, what is living, we will just say in brief. So, the living things are those which grow, which reproduce, which are having the ability to sense the environment, that is, who are conscious and who have metabolism and their ability to self-replicate or reproduce, self-organize. So these characteristics, when they are present in a thing, it is called a living thing. And a non-living thing, we all know that they don't have this characteristics like growth, reproduction, ability to sense the environment, that is consciousness, metabolism, and ability to self-replicate or self-organize. So in the last year it was given in details, but this year you don't have this in detail. In your curriculum has changed. So let us move on to the next one, where we are dealing with the diversity in the living world. Now, what can we tell the diversity in the living world? Now, biology, we all know it is a science of life forms and life processes, or living processes. Now, the living world comprises of many living organisms of amazing diversity. So there are diverse organisms. Now, early men, they used to, like we can say that they could differentiate between the inanimate matter and the living organisms. Now, early man defined some of the inanimate matters like wind, sea, fire, and some among the animals as well as plants. But gradually what happened? Gradually the systematic and monumental description forms, they came. So gradually the systematic and monumental description of lives were brought in, and out of several necessities of life and the detailed system of identification, nomenclature, and classification, these three things came into being. Now, how can we, these all are new terms to you, new terms to us, so we will have to study them and understand them properly. Now, you can see Ernest Mayr, he was a what we can say, he was an evolutionary scientist, or he was a known name in evolutionary biology, who was a biologist in Harvard University, and who was called the Darwin of 20th century. And his research, what he researched on, what things he researched mainly on ornithology, taxonomy, zoo geography, evolution, systematics, and history as well as philosophy of biology. So many fields he covered. So taxonomy, ornithology, zoo geography, evolution, systematics, history, and philosophy of biology. Now this person, he was, now if you want to study the history in details, you can just go through your textbook also, whichever textbook you are following. He was born in 1904 in Kempten, Germany, and he actually he won the triple crown of biology. He won the triple crown of biology, the Balzan prize in 1983, the international prize for biology in the year, now he in the year 1994, and the Crawford prize in 1999. So the international prize of biology in 1994 and the Crawford prize in 1999. Now this Ernest Mayr, he died at the age of 100 years. He died at the age of 100 years, and in the year 2004, in the year 2004 he died at the age of 100 years. So this is all in brief about the diversity in living world. It's an introduction. So let us see in the next slide. Now, what are the few important terms that we are going to study in this biodiversity lesson? So the first term we are going to study is the term biodiversity itself. So what is it? Next we will learn about nomenclature. Next we will learn about identification. Now next to which we are going to learn about the binomial nomenclature. then classification, then taxonomy, and then systematic. So these all are very important terms when we are discussing about the diversity in the living world. So once we start with diversity, we need to learn these terms: biodiversity, nomenclature, identification, binomial nomenclature, classification, taxonomy, as well as systematics. So now let us move on to the next part. Now in this slide we will be covering the three important terms, that is biodiversity, nomenclature, and what is identification. Now as the term tells us that if we look around, we will see a large variety of living organisms, be it plants, insects, birds, our pets, anything around we are seeing there. With naked eyes many things are visible around you. Now there are many microscopic organisms also which we are not visible with our naked eyes. Now if you increase the area, that make your observation, and the range and variety of organisms that will increase. Now obviously we can say that if you were in a dense forest, we will see a huge number of plants and animals, more than when we are in our house. We can see a few animals and other living beings, like mostly the human beings. So more we move from one place to another, we can see diverse range of organisms. Now the number of species that are known and in a described range between 1.7 to 1.8 billion is called biodiversity. So the number of species we can say that are known and described in a range between 1.7 million to 1.8 million. So this refers to the term biodiversity, or the number and the type of organisms present on Earth. Now there are a huge millions of plants and animals in this world. Now we know that in our areas we all know those plants and animals in their local names. So there are a huge number of plants and animals in our locality which whom we all know by their local name, right? So local name have been given to the animals in our own place, own area and all. So the local name would always vary from place to place. So millions of plants and animals are there. So but we need to standardize, we need to give them a name, same name throughout the world. So there is always a need to standardize the naming organisms, the living organisms, such that a particular organism is known by the same name to all over the world. So this process of naming organisms all over the world in a same name is called the nomenclature. So is it clear to all? So it is called nomenclature. So this naming of organisms standardize the naming of living organisms such that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. This process is called nomenclature. Now obviously this nomenclature or naming is only possible when an organism is described correctly. So if you are giving the description of an organism correctly, we know to what organism the name is attached to. Now when we are identifying the organism correctly, when we are describing that animal properly, then only we can name it properly. So first we need to identify. So this nomenclature, when we are identifying the organism correctly and we know that what organism the name is attached to, this is called identification. So is it clear to everyone? So these are all new things you will be discussing in this 11th standard. So please just go through it and listen to my lecture, my videos properly with the notes which I am giving you, so that you can get it clear. Now this for plants and scientific names based on plants and animals, there are acceptable to several biologists all over the world. For plants, the scientific names are based on several principles as well as criteria, and which are provided by the ICBN, that is International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. ICBN, this is the standardized name they are giving, that is the International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. Now you may ask how the animals are named. Animal taxonomists are also there. They have evolved in the International Code of Zoological Nomenclature, that is ICZN. This is botanical nomenclature, that is which are related to plants are called botanical nomenclature, and related to animals are called zoological nomenclature. So International Code for Botanical Nomenclature is for the plants, and international code for zoological nomenclature is for animals. Now the scientific names ensure us that each organism have only one name. So you can't call one organism with many different names, as it is based on the nomenclature identification. We are identifying, we are telling that all same name is to be taken throughout the world. Now biologists, they are following certain universally accepted principles. So let us see what are those principles they're accepting. Now here we are going to discuss that how these scientific names to some known organisms they are being given, and this is called binomial nomenclature. So what is it? This is called binomial nomenclature. Now in this binomial nomenclature, as the name suggests, we can say that there are each name has two components, binomial. One is the generic name and one is the specific epithet. So what is the generic name? So this system provides always name with two components. So two components means binomial. So two components means binomial nomenclature. Okay, now the biologists, they have told that the first name is the generic name and the second name is the specific epithet. Is it clear? So first name is the generic name and the second name is the specific epithet, and this full system is called binomial nomenclature. And this naming system was proposed by or given by whom? It was given by the Carolus Linnaeus. So it was given by Carolus Linnaeus. The first is the generic name, the second is the specific epithet, and this whole binomial system was naming system was given by Carolus Linnaeus. Now if we take an example like Magnifera indica. Okay, so the first name Magnifera, it is telling us that it is representing the genus. It is representing the genus, whereas Magnifera indica, this indica is a particular species. Is it clear? Now there are several rules on this nomenclature. There are many rules. So we will know the rules how they are being named. Now biological names are generally in Latin and they are written in italics and they are Latinized and derived in the Latin irrespective of their origin. So they are Latin and are written in italics. The first part represents the genus. We have told that it is the genus, and the second part is the species or specific epithet. Now biological name when handwritten are separately underlined. If I write this Magnifera indica, I can't write in italics, right? I'll write Magnifera indica. Then I'll have to underline each part separately. It should not be a running line. We should write each part underlined separately, which represents the genus, and this one the species. Now the first word denoting the genus, it always starts in capital letter. It will start in capital letter, and the specific epithet starts in small letter. This indica, you can't write indica in capital letter. It will be wrong. So we should write indica I in small letter, Magnifera in capital letter. So this is the basic rules of writing binomial nomenclature. So two names, first is the genus, second is the epithet. It should be written in italics when you are typing, and when you are writing in hand, it should be written separately and underlined. So is it clear to all? Please make it clear. If you are not getting, please write in my comment box. I'll come up again with this topic. Now we have all told that there are diverse range of organisms. Now since it is absolutely impossible to study all the organisms, it is always necessary that to devise some means to make this possible. Now this process is called classification. Now classification, what is it? It is a process by which anything is grouped into, we can say that they are grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characters. So this classification is the process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characters. Now for example, we can recognize such plants or animals like dogs, cats and insects. We can recognize them with certain easily recognizable characters. Now obviously each of us, we can see dogs, we can see cats, but if we think of Alsatians, we know that we are talking about a specific type of dog. Okay, so then hence all these dogs, cats, mammals, rice, plants, animals, they are convenient categories to which we have put depending on the observable characters. So these are classification. Now the scientific term, what is the scientific term for this categories? So the scientific term for this categories is called taxa. Scientific term for these categories is called taxa. Okay, this is called taxa, and based on certain characteristics, therefore the animals, mammals, dogs, they are all living in the different levels of taxa. Okay, they are living in different levels of taxa. Now let us see what is there in the next one. Now based on certain characteristics, we have said that these living beings can be classified into taxa, and the process of classification is called taxonomy. So the external as well as internal structure, along with the structure of cell, development process, ecological information of organisms, so they are all essential and they form the modern taxonomic studies. Now characterization, identification, classification, nomenclature are the processes that are basic to taxonomy. These identification, classification, nomenclature processes, they are all basic to taxonomy. Now till now, is it clear? So dear students, if you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like and share my videos so that you can keep on getting updates. Now let us move on to the next part. Now the word systematics, now we are coming to systematics. So systematics is always, they are all Latin words. It is derived from the word systema. So is it clear? It is derived from the word systema, which means the systematic arrangement of organisms. Now as humans, we were not only interested in knowing more about different kinds of organisms and their diversities, but also we were interested in their relationships among them. So we had to learn about them. We wanted to know the relationships among them. So this branch of study which deals with the relationships, this branch of study which is referred to as the systema or this, according to Carolus Linnaeus, he told that this description, this relationship of animals in between animals can be studied in the process of systematics. Okay, so he used this, Linnaeus, he used the Systema Naturae as the title of this publication. So the title of his publication was Systema Naturae, and the scope of systematic was later it was enlarged, and it was later enlarged to identification, nomenclature and classification. So systematic takes into account the evolutionary relationship between certain organisms. So what we can say, it takes about the evolutionary relationship between certain organisms. So evolutionary relationship between certain organisms. Okay. Now we can just move on to the taxonomic categories, but it is already a huge lesson for you all. So in the next video, I'll be uploading the taxonomic categories. So till now, this is all for today. Go through your textbook, go through my video, and don't forget to subscribe to get on updates of each and every lesson, and which I'm trying my best to teach in a systematic and lucid manner. So just go through your textbook and learn or read or try to grasp what I have told in this video. Thank you.